The Love Her Show with the duo. You gotta love her, praise her, treat her right. Let your life reflect all the beauty that's inside of you. You gotta love yourself. Let the best of you shine through. Welcome to the Love Her Show with the duo.
Yes, hey lovers, welcome back. I'm Kelly Fisher.
I'm Tana Gilmore.
And together,
we're the Matchmaking duo.
Yes, come on in. It is so great to be with you all again.
Yes, and for those of you who are just joining, this is the podcast where we discuss all things love, life, business, and bliss.
Yes, and again, we are certified matchmakers. We are authors, keynote speakers, trainers.
We're Essence.com bloggers and workshop facilitators.
We are, and we always talk about all things love. So that is one of our main...
It is. It's a staple.
That's a staple, yes. But it's great. I mean, I think when you're a life and relationship coach, that's the path that we've chosen in this life. You can, everything kind of comes back to love.
It does. I mean, because everybody wants love. I mean, it's just so crazy because even when we were in corporate, we could never get out of it. Like everybody would always come to us about their problems in their love life. I mean, and CEOs, CFOs, you name it, they would always come to us, and we were like, "What in the world?" These
get on this topic
people
again?
Telling us their personal business. We weren't even certified coaches yet. So.
Yeah, but I think we were good at it. Even
we were
then.
very good at it.
Problem solvers. You know.
Anyway, yeah.
So I mean, I love to help try to resolve a good challenge to get from one point to the other.
Yeah, we're always
trying to help people.
We're always trying to solve a problem. So like, okay, this is what you need to do.
Yes. So let me just think about it. Let me just think objectively. Let me take myself out of it and let me just see.
And we'll come up with a plan.
Sure will. We sure will. So it's great that we could become certified in this and have a business for 4.5 years.
Yes, thank God.
Let me just get it out. I cannot believe, I can, but life, I mean, just time is flying. I'm trying to get away from saying that I can't believe
I know,
stuff.
because we can believe it. We're believing for more.
Yeah, when you have dreams and then you say, I can't believe it, it's really counterproductive, I think.
But it's just, we just naturally just say it because that's what we've been conditioned to do. But,
yes.
We're believing for more. Believing for more.
More, indeed. So, what is our topic today?
Our topic today is, what's your worth?
Ooh, and you know what? I feel like she's looking over at me to ring it down.
I know you want to ring it because I know you want to ring it.
She's almost leaning over, like shoulder to shoulder.
I know it's coming.
Why do we not have a bell or a gong or something yet?
Not yet.
So this is what, episode 41? 42?
Mm-hmm.
We're almost at 50. I did say at 50 we're going to do something big.
Yeah.
Just some kind of celebration. It doesn't have to be. But that's
to get absolutely. I don't know if we should do it for 50 or 52 because 52 is like a whole year.
Oh my God.
It is. 2 more weeks. I don't know. That's a lot. That's like a year.
Well, okay. So we started Valentine's Day of last year. So maybe we'll do a celebration Valentine's Day, whatever week that falls on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because it'll be a year since we've been doing it. But.
Yes. So we'll do some type of celebration.
We'll think about it between here and now. We're always planning something for February.
And that includes something for us to go out and eat something good. Which always.
We did. We just talked about that last week that we're going to stop
we did.
doing all that celebration eating.
Yes. And here I am announcing it on the podcast at that.
They're going to be writing us about this.
Didn't I say it? I did ask them to help us stay accountable. So, it doesn't have to be anything fattening.
Oh, God.
We're going to go out for a good salad.
Oh, please.
There's some good salads.
There are some good salads. There's a couple places around here that we have good
delicious salads.
Yeah.
So it's more for the experience. But right now we are
with a sangria.
Oh, gosh. See, she's adding.
Calories.
I would say some type of warm cookie or chocolate.
Like a sangria with some apples and pears.
Oh, gosh. Well, we added the pounds back. So I don't know how good we're doing with that, but we'll see. I think compromising with a salad would help.
Sounds good to me.
Yes. So our topic for today, we were talking about just a few things that are going on in the world today. And so what's your worth?
Yeah. What is your worth? I mean, how often do you have to sit and think about it? Like, we need to know our worth for so many areas of our life.
Definitely. From work to relationships. I mean, all types of things. So And even friendships.
Uh-huh.
You know, sometimes when you don't know your worth, you take on relationships and friendships that really don't need, or do they? Do they need to be a part of it? If that's what
some of them don't. They don't
are attracted, or if your self-worth is not where it needs to be. So one of the things that we were talking about that's been, of course, on social media for so long now, a couple days, the video of Monique, comedian Monique, who we love. And she was asking her followers to boycott Netflix because they offered her something significantly less than her counterparts. It was about $500,000.
Yes, they offered her $500,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was saying, well, her argument is that based on all the accolades that she has, and I looked it up. Did you? I don't know if you looked it up. I mean, she has a long list. I didn't even know. I mean, she's author. She's had a cookbook. She's TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oscar-winning, Golden Globe.
Yep.
She, I think she was on the radio. She's a producer, so behind the camera, in front of the camera, talk show. So, I mean, she does have a lot of accolades. So she's saying that believes she's the most decorated comedian alive, but she's citing a gap in pay based on gender and race bias. So that led us to think about, what is your worth? And so Netflix's argument, I guess, is that, yes, you've achieved all those accomplishments on paper, but we don't think that you're going to bring the type of following and money that we need to this special.
Ooh. That stung a little bit.
That did.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think about it, that's like, you know, we want to give you something, but we don't think you're worth what you're asking.
Right. So, I mean, so her job at this point is to prove that how her accolades will translate into sales to Netflix. And I think that is, like we said, translates into so many areas. So you can have all these accolades, but your job is to translate how those accolades will result in the end result for the person or the ending party.
Yeah, whether
receiving party.
Yeah, and whether it's monetary, or whether it's in relationships or whatever. And sometimes, you know, we as women, we don't know our value, and it just breaks our heart. I mean, somewhere along the way, you know, it was never uncovered, and for some of us, and you know, we were stripped from it from, you know, somebody along the way. And so I think that what we want to do here is just kind of have a discussion and talk about it, and give you some tips and tools to be able to one, know your value, know your worth, and know what you're bringing to the table, and when it's a good opportunity and when it isn't. And that goes for everything in relationships and in your you know, workplace, or, you know, on the marketplace, anything. To know your value, know what you're worth, and know when is it the right time to walk away, or when is it the right time to maybe even compromise or negotiate?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was even thinking about my past relationships, and even in marriage and, you know, long-term relationships that I had, you know, early on. I was definitely progressive. I, you know, went to college. I did all those things. I was like the vice president of my class and all of that in high school. And I would consider myself pretty confident. But now when I look back at the choices that I made, I did have, you know, great boyfriends, definitely. But I think I was probably afraid to aim higher for whatever reason. You know, I don't know if I just was like, I better take this option right here because, you know, I don't know if something else better is going to come along, or maybe I just didn't think that I could command that. I don't know what it was, but it definitely has to go with your. And then I think also, you can sometimes get to the point where you don't want to be too stuffy. Like, you know, I have to have this, you know, Ivy League type of person. I'm like, well, my family's always been, you know, embrace all types of people. So, I mean, I can see the good in everyone. Sometimes that's good, and sometimes you don't aim as high as you probably should, because you're just seeing the good in everyone and everything.
And I think, you know, it's interesting because I think back to in my early 20s, I think we talked about this, definitely talked about it in our book, Relationship Do-Overs, where I definitely didn't know my worth, even as in relationships, so much so that I would, you know, give so much to these men, you know, just give, and they would take, and not give me anything in return. But here's the problem here lies that I didn't require them to. So I really didn't know my value and what I worth. But when I realized what my value was that every single one of them busters came back. Every single one of them came back. I mean, once you break up with them, you know, they realize what they had. And so I was like, you know what? I was, you know, a great person all along, but I didn't know it.
Right.
I didn't know that going, in my 20s, I didn't know it. I know it now, but I didn't know it in my 20s.
Yeah. And I know it now too, but it took a while.
Yeah.
If I look back on it, I was like, wow, it's amazing how you can be so poised at work. You can be so confident. I could go out and, take the mic and, do a presentation or whatever. But in relationships, I don't know if I was as confident in knowing my worth at that time.
No, I know I wasn't.
No. And so to me, so with relationships, of course, you can have this career, you can have degrees. I had my own home, financially stable, well-spoken, poised, all that stuff, well-dressed. But when you think about it, just like in this Monique situation, how does that translate into being a good girlfriend and eventually a good wife, which is what...
Yeah.
Which is what the men are wondering. So, and I think sometimes we get it mixed up, don't we?
Yeah.
We have this long laundry list of these things, and that should be enough. But when you think of it, when that stuff is done after 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it doesn't even count.
No.
It doesn't even matter.
Not really. So it's really up to us to bring those points home and even in work.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, you can have all these degrees. What's better? You have someone with all types of accolades. You're a hiring manager, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All types of accolades, all the way up to a PhD, but has never really worked. As opposed to maybe someone who went to a technical school, has done the job and done it well, has proven results, and has this track record.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what Netflix, I guess, is saying is you have all this, but
what have you done with it?
Yeah, and how does that translate into your worth? And so I think she can prove that, but I just think that it's up to her to do.
Well, the problem is that, there's so many other levels of, there's so many other issues here in different layers. I think that it started with her personal brand, where it is today.
Right.
I think, she's, certainly have burned some bridges, allegedly, along the way.
Lightly, yeah.
Along the way. And so we know that could be a challenge. I personally feel, this is just Tana's personal opinion, I think that I'm mixed about it. I think that for Monique, where she is now, I don't know her financial situation. I don't know. But I know that as entrepreneurs, we all need to eat. I think that she should have gone back and maybe renegotiated and leveraged it. And maybe she did, and that's just not what we saw. And she decided to, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking that offer, and let's boycott. But I felt like, she feels like she is the most decorated, and she stated that the most decorated comedian out there. And congratulations to her.
Looking at her list, she just might be, because I didn't realize all that
she's done a lot. She's done a lot. But you have to take in consideration when you burn bridges along the way, it negates some of that.
Yeah.
Some of that, because what they're saying as a corporation, and we're business owners, so we know that we're taking a risk based off of your reputation today. Right. Where you are right now, we're taking a risk in hopes that you can bring and draw this crowd, and we can make our money back plus some, because nobody wants to break even. Nobody wants to break even.
No, that's not the point. That's not the name of the game. Not at all. No, and I was thinking about it. I would have watched it. I haven't seen her in a while, and I love her. Yeah. So had she come out with something on Netflix, I definitely would have watched, because we haven't seen her in a while. So maybe that surprise factor of not hearing from her in so long would have drawn it, but I guess they didn't want to take that risk. So, or
rebuild her following, because we don't know if she's lost some followers along the way. I'm assuming maybe some, but that it could have been an opportunity for her to rebuild, and maybe Netflix wasn't the home. They did a side by side with her and Wanda Sykes, where Wanda Sykes said, "Hey, Netflix offered me half that, but I just found a new home. I found somewhere else to go who would, showcase my talents and would, really know my worth." And, and so, maybe she should have done that. I don't know. Maybe she just said, you know what, enough is enough. If she's gone through a lot. And lately, she is taking a stand on everything. She's very vocal about everything, which I can appreciate, because that's a woman that said, you know what, I am tired of this foolishness. Yeah. I am tired of it. You will not treat me this way anymore. Right. She's very vocal about it.
And what I will give her is she is definitely not afraid to speak up for herself.
Right.
So that you don't see too much in Hollywood. We don't know how it's going to play out. But one thing I do applaud her for is she is like, I'm worth this, so you can take it or leave it. Whatever those ramifications might be at home, or whether she has, like Tana said, some income coming in, she knows her worth. So you can
she
take
took a
it.
risk,
You
and she
can
was
leave
like,
it.
"Listen."
Yes, you can like it or lump it, as my old pastor would say. Like it or lump it.
Lump it. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I had to bring it back to that. But I mean, I think it just goes back to analyzing what our worth is in so many different areas. So what's your worth in business? What's your worth in romantic relationships? What's your worth in friendship? Just casual relationships. What's your worth in family?
That's right. And think about this, Kelly. How often do we negotiate our salaries in the workplace? You know, how often do we do that? I mean, because first of all, you have to walk in with some level of confidence. I mean, your resume speaks for itself, but when they present that number in front of you, are you confident enough to say, I feel like I'm worth this, and this is what I'm asking for, and sit back and be quiet and just look as cute as can be, right, and smile. And and sometimes we just have to sit back and just be quiet and just wait, which is hard to do for some of us.
Well, that's what I was reading someplace where a lot of times we talk about, even in the workplace, how men are paid more than women. Yeah. But a lot of times they were even doing a study where a lot of times men will go back and ask for more.
Yes.
And women, it was just a statistic where we normally will not go back and ask for more. We'll go take what we can. Or was it? Yes, we'll take what we can. Take what we are offered. Yeah. So that could have a lot to do with it. Again, not knowing our worth, and we want to have just that sure thing, and we're like, we'll work our way up. And when men have more confidence in that area, where they're like, no, this is the number that I need,
and you can figure out how to get it there,
right? And I don't know, they didn't do a statistic as to how many times that we're offered that, but, that the revised number, however, that seemed to be something that we hadn't taken into play.
But if you think about it, so Kelly and I have, we've been friends for a very long time. And even before, our last company, we worked for a Fortune 100 company, and we were in advertising and marketing. But before that, we even worked together for partnering firms for a relocation company, and 2 different relocation companies. But that's where we met, and we partnered. Our companies paired us together to partner. And so even with helping international, expatriates or people that were relocating, and even helping them with their salary in negotiations, it was interesting because they would look to us for guidance with that. Just say, this is what they're offering me. What should I do? And so, of course, we didn't, we just kind of would help them go back and negotiate. But oftentimes the women, you're right, the women never did, but the men, they stood their ground and they got it, all the time.
Right.
All the time.
Mm-hmm. They did. Yes. Yeah. And even to move their whole family, especially when it was an international move, to move their whole family, they would get one thing, and the number was high.
That's not cheap to move an international family. It's not.
No. It was well into the mid 6 figures to really move everyone and get everyone, because you're really trying to mirror the life that they had in the old location. So, but they would definitely negotiate. But I think, one of the things that we come across too, and that's a good point, Tana, but one of the things that I was thinking as well is what happens when you have a false sense of your worth.
Ooh. We're not trying to crush anybody's dreams here at all, but let me tell you, sometimes, you see Kelly's face right now, sometimes we get clients in that want to command so many things of this man that really doesn't exist anyway, at least not for you.
Well,
I'm looking
straight ahead.
Yeah, but that's the truth. But I'm speaking the truth.
Blinking my eyes because, and I think, we all have to take a good look at ourselves. Yeah. Sometimes we think that, and that could be in business, it could be in relationships, it could be, sometimes we have a false sense of what we're worth. And when, just in the example that I gave, so even for our business, so let's say you have multiple degrees, which I would say 95% of our clients do. Mm-hmm. Extremely accomplished.
At least advanced level.
But they come to us because they're not as confident in being a good girlfriend, or we always say, what is your girlfriend IQ? Mm-hmm. And so that one is probably not, they're not very confident there. Yeah. And then, of course, translating that into becoming a good wife, which is what they want. They want a long-term relationship and eventually marriage.
They don't make this type of investment with us if they just want to date. And they don't do that. They want to be married. They want to be somebody's wife. They want to be chosen.
Right. And so we do have to take a good look and evaluate, too, sometimes when our worth is not what it needs to be in certain areas, and seek help. So you can seek help even if you've had, interesting family dynamics that haven't been, and that you have no blueprint for a good marriage. You have no blueprint for what a good girlfriend is or what you're bringing to the table. Then that doesn't mean that all of a sudden you can come and command a Denzel Washington or Idris Elba or
anybody else, honey.
Yes.
Anybody.
Yeah, we all have to take
Boris
a good look at Boris.
Anybody. You can't come in commanding that. And one,
David Beckham, that's who I had in my mind.
David Beckham, yes. Matthew McConaughey, which I love. But so you can't come in the door, commanding, or I should say demanding that when you can't command it.
Right. But you can get there.
You can get there.
Everyone can get there. So it's just a matter of, I wouldn't say everyone can get there.
No,
However, you can get to the point where, none of us can. Or probably, But you can get to the point where you feel confident in your worth in whatever area it is that you feel like is lacking.
And you know what you can command. And so that's what we're here to help you, even today, help you understand your value. Because we feel like every single one of you all are valuable. I mean, we love our clients. We see something in every single one of these women. And we probably work with, I don't know how many, like 300 or so over the years. I mean, it's been a lot.
It's been a lot, yes. And some men as well.
Absolutely.
We've had some male clients where just didn't feel like they were and I think they weren't as confident in their worth in dating either because they had worked their way up and didn't know who wanted them for what.
For their money or whatever. And, hey, so we help them with that. But I think that for you all, what we would like for you to do as a challenge and as an exercise is to make a list of the things that you find valuable within yourself. And so what we're saying, so let me give you an example. So you being like nurturing and encouraging, those are some things too, but then go a little bit deeper. So if you love to cook, think about some of the things that, he can get from you that he can't get from anybody else. I mean, some of those types of things, because at the end of the day, we want you to really know that going in, that knowing that this is what I'm bringing to the table. I mean, because a lot of times when we ask our clients, well, tell us more about what you're offering him after they present this long laundry list of what they want in a husband, it's usually crickets because they really don't know. And we expect that. I mean, we're so used to it, we expect for them not to know because nobody really wants to talk about themselves. But here's the thing. All of this time, you haven't thought about your value, your personal value of what you're bringing to the table.
Right. And you need to, if you don't know, how can you, again, translate that? Because, again, it's your job to translate your value to the receiving party. So whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, you can have accolades on paper all the way down, I mean, for page after page after page. But if it doesn't translate into how you can help them and the end result, what results are you bringing, then it's all for naught. So I think, like Tana said, you can think of things, if we're talking about relationships and romantic relationships, you can just say, I know for sure that when I meet the man of my dreams, he is guaranteed to have a great time. Or, I love to laugh. We're going to definitely, have a conversation where we're laughing. I know that I'm great at building him up, or I know that I'm adventurous, so we can maybe go bike riding one day, or we can go scuba diving the next. So there has to be some things that you're bringing to the table, and if it's not, take some time to develop it.
Yes, and definitely. I know, and it took me some years to get there, but I tell you what, sisters, if there's a next wife for Trey Gilmore, which I don't think there will be, but she has some tall shoes to fill. I mean, because she has some tall shoes to fill. That I know for sure.
Yeah.
So that I'm very confident in, and I know that for sure because I hold it down. I mean, in every area. So I think that, you should feel confident enough and first of all, let me just make this disclaimer. So not every man is perfect. We know that. And so there's no guarantee that they're not going to, step out or whatever. That's not what we're saying. But, what we want to convey is that you are confident in what you're bringing to the table without a shadow of a doubt. So even if, you walk away for whatever reason, you already know they'll be back.
Right. Yeah.
They'll be calling me at some point because I know what I brought to the table. In every area.
And I think it also speaks to the fact that we're always talking about creating memories. So if you even think of, okay, when we are together, we're going to have an unforgettable time. We're going to have a great, and it's not like you're sitting there trying to impress him, but you have so many things to offer, whether you know you have great conversation, whether you know that you're always looking great, whether he knows you're always smelling great, if he knows that you are going to be adventurous, like I said, or whatever it is that you're bringing, that combination, you know, is irresistible.
Yes.
So it's not that you're morphing into someone that you're not, but you've already developed the God-given talents and abilities that you have, which is unique to you. Yeah. Everyone is different. So as we say, everyone has their own USP. And
you're just evolving into who you already are anyway. Just, you know, bringing out the best of who you are. But here's the thing. So we just want you to know it. We want you to feel confident in walking in those shoes and be able to own it. And so what we've learned is that a lot of women who we've experienced, you know, as of late in our clientele, they don't know it. And so we want to be able to help you. And that's one of the things that we go over in coaching, just to understand that you are beautiful. You are amazing. You can command certain things out of life. You absolutely can. But we want you to be realistic, you know, with the hoes. I mean, we're not going to sit up here and, you know, and not have a realistic conversation with you. We will. But we want you to be able to understand that. And then whatever that is and whatever level that is, just own it.
Right. Definitely own it. And I mean, even as we were talking about, I mean, with Monique's situation, I have to say, regardless of however it all turns out, I say kudos to her for standing her ground. Hey, she's telling me to ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Kudos to Monique. I don't care which way it falls. She said, I'm not going to take $500,000 because it's not enough.
It's not enough. I'm worth more than $500,000.
Yes.
And she is.
I mean, yes, it might sound like a lot, I mean, to us, but to her, she was like, she said, I'm worth more.
Yeah, I'm worth more. I want to be paid what you offered everybody else.
Yes. Or somewhere high in between.
Yes,
exactly. So there's a lesson to be learned, certainly, from her taking that stand. Yes, whichever way it falls.
She has my respect for sure.
I'm telling you. So you talk about...
The problem is, I don't think anybody's going to stop watching that. We applaud you, Monique.
We do.
We applaud you, Monique.
Yes, I am watching a series at the moment on Netflix. However, I love it.
We're proud of you, girl. We are proud of you.
I love it, yes. And I mean, I think, you know, there has to be something to be said about that. It is definitely a lower number. It's significantly low.
It's only $500,000. I mean,
compared to 10 and 20 million. And I think she is, now, granted, she is not in the same, I don't think she's in the same, has done as much as Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, I think it was.
Yeah, and Amy Schumer.
So I think, well, I don't know about Amy Schumer, but I know the two gentlemen have been, I think, a little more relevant, and their brand is a lot stronger. But somewhere in between? Yes. Can we get somewhere in between?
They should have offered her, they should have offered her more than that.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's $500. That's somebody's salary.
That takes some serious kahunas to say, I'm not going to take $500,000. That's, it's still no small change.
No, it's not.
So talk about knowing your worth. She knows her worth, so there's a lesson to be learned. Lesson to be learned.
I guess, sure. I appreciate it, though. I do. I appreciate her. And, we applaud her and respect her for that. And we stand with her on knowing her worth. So the whole purpose of this podcast was to know your worth. And if you're confused about it, we encourage you to write some things down and maybe just uncover, what it is that you're most valuable, you're most proud of, and the things that either in business or in a relationship, that what are you bringing to the table that nobody else is?
Right. And on a scale of 1 to 10, you can just write it down with us. Let's put on a few different buckets here. So in your career, scale of 1 to 10, where are you? And give that number. In romantic relationships, not anything else. We're not taking, of course, we're not taking into account your career or anything else. They're all standalone. So romantic relationships, your girlfriend IQ, a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the strongest, where are you? Friendship relationships, how much are you contributing and how much are you taking, and what is your worth there? Okay, friendships. And then family relationships. Where are you there? So it's kind of like a full circle type of thing. And then if you see that something is too low, really be realistic with yourself and see how you can work to develop it this year. That's really the point. How can you develop it? Who can you seek out to help develop that area?
Yeah, definitely. We're here too, so feel free to give us a call, send us an email. You can, find us on our social media at the Matchmaking Duo. You can, our website, thematchmakingduo.com.
Yes.
Instagram, it's all the same, Matchmaking Duo. And our new Love Her community.
Hey, lover.
Hey, please invite some of your girlfriends. And then this community is not just for single women. So it's for married, it's for women of all ages, all ethnicities. It's for every woman. We're going to talk about so many different things in this group. And so we just want you to be a part of it. And we just thank you.
Yeah. So again, the name of our new Facebook community is Hey Lovers, LOVHERS, just like the podcast with an exclamation point at the end. So we hope to see you there. We just posted a video a couple minutes ago just saying, hey.
Yay.
So you all have an amazing day, and we will talk to you very soon. But know your worth.
Know your worth.
Indeed. All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Just had to love her, to embrace the love